What's up folks, BCSG here. Okay, today I have a pretty interesting video for you. And I was just thinking how I can make my channel a bit more interesting. I've done tips and tricks videos before, but most of those were centered around me actually fishing. And then I talk about what I'm doing and stuff. But as you can see behind me, courtesy of my client, I have one of my clients who fishes as well, I have access to a swimming pool. So I thought, hey, you know what? Today I'm going to talk about how I work some of my soft plastics, some of the tips and tricks, what I do with the soft plastics, and because it's a swimming pool, I can record underwater footage of how the lures and the soft plastics look when I'm working them in the water. Alright, so we have 5 types of soft plastics that I'm going to talk about today. You got swim bait, we've got long profile slim soft plastics, we've got the Sazanami shad, which is pretty much just a shad, and we've got this, I can't really remember the name of this, but this is one of my favorites for zebras in Pandan. And we've got the twin tail grub. Now there are many variations of this. This just happens to be the one that I bought in the States, but let me just grab it for you. There's my other favorite one, which is the cultivar twin tail grub. Yeah, basically same thing. These two are the same thing. This is slightly bigger, but otherwise, yeah. So anyway, these are what we're dealing with today. I'm going to work with each of them individually and take it from there. Alright, so the first category, I generally classify the way I work soft plastics into 2 categories. One would be bottom bouncing, the other one would be mid-water, which is pretty much anything that doesn't touch the bottom. First one, you've seen me do this in Pandan a lot. It's called the twitch and pause. Alright, so what you want to do with the twitch and pause is you cast it out, you let it sink. Alright, and once it hits the bottom, now this is important, it's a single twitch. One. Just like that. Okay? Like that. Single twitch. That's all that it takes. Twitch and you stop. Now you notice that I'm twitching and that's all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not turning the handle. I'm not doing anything else. It's just a twitch. The idea here is that twitch. It has to be a twitch. And very often I see folks make the mistake of lifting and pausing rather than twitching. Alright, so this is what it looks like if you're doing it wrong. Alright, so you're going to lift and it's going to fall. You're going to lift. Notice the speed of the rod tip going up and down. The rod tip rises about as fast as it goes down. Alright, and you're going to see from the underwater footage how different a lift and fall looks from a twitch and pause. It imparts a very different action to the soft plastic, and that's not what you want to be doing. It's a twitch and pause. Okay, so the next one, the next technique would be what I call wiggle and pause. That's another technique you see me work very often in Pandan. Okay, and this is what it looks like. So once it hits bottom, you're going to do a wiggle. Now a wiggle is like micro twitches. It's like multiple twitches except maybe 1/3 as much of a twitch. So this is a twitch, this is a wiggle. Okay, that's a wiggle right there. And it doesn't have to be 3, you can randomize it. You can do a twitch, mix it up with a wiggle. You can just mix it up. Twitch and pause, wiggle and pause, very similar. Let me show you that again. That's all there is to it. The twitch and pause and the wiggle and pause. Now the last bottom bouncing technique that I use is what I call the slow drag. Okay? There are two variations to this. There's the consistent drag and there's the drag and pause. And this is all you do for the slow drag. Rod tip doesn't move at all. You just whine. See that? You just whine. Rod tip's not moving. Remember, this is a drag. You're dragging it on the bottom. If you move the rod tip, it's going to lift the lure off the bottom, and that kind of defeats the purpose of what a slow drag is. So you just whine. Slow drag. See? That's all there is to it. Now, as I said, two variations. You could do a consistent slow drag where you don't really stop winding. You can do a drag and pause, a varied speed drag. So drag and pause, drag and pause, and drag and pause. You can drag a bit faster, you can drag slower, faster, slower, anything. Alright? So that's for generic soft plastics. I use all these techniques with virtually any soft plastic that I have. They can be done with grubs, they can be done with little paddle tails, they can be done with, virtually worms, craws. It works either way. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to swim baits. Alright, so on to swim baits. Right here I have, what is this called? This is a live target pinfish swim bait. Now as you can see, it really looks like a tilapia, and that's kind of the whole point. Okay, working a swim bait, same thing. The same twitch and pause, you can do the wiggle. But one thing that is special with swim baits is you can do two things. Feeding fish, dying fish. That's kind of the whole point of having a swim bait that looks like a fish. You're supposed to imitate fish. So the first technique is what I call feeding fish, where you're trying to imitate a fish that is cruising the bottom, poking around. Now, keep in mind, most swim baits, especially soft plastic ones, when they hit the bottom, they're going to roll to the side. The only way you can combat this is to keep retrieving. So, cast it out, you let it sink. Once it hits bottom, you start consistently, slowly retrieving, and you wiggle it ever so often. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. That's what I call imitating a feeding fish. Now the next technique is imitating a dying fish. Now that's pretty easy. Everyone knows what a dying fish looks like, right? It's a fish that is dying. It's supposed to lie on its side. So the whole point here is the pause. You gotta have the pause so that the swim bait falls to the side, and then you gotta have a twitch, and the twitch gotta be short and fast. Because dying fish, if anyone has seen an aquarium with a dying fish inside, seen videos of dying fish, their first sign is they can't swim straight. They're always on the side, they're upside down, swim bladder's not functioning, and ever so often they twitch. And when they twitch, that's when they have a quick little burst, and then they come back down and they lie on the side. Sometimes the burst is a long one, sometimes the burst is a short one, but the idea is to imitate a fish that is dying. So here's how you do that. Alright, and you got to let it sink all the way, no movement. That ensures that it falls to the side. It's pretty much the same as a twitch and pause, except that you are varying the intensity of the twitches, you're varying the length of the pause, and the pause is key. You have to pause so that the lure falls to the side. Alright folks, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys found it helpful. Tips and tricks on bottom bouncing. Now I'm not saying that these techniques are the only techniques that you can use for bottom bouncing soft plastics or for working soft plastics. These are just the techniques that I use. Now I don't claim to be an expert in any of these things, so there's probably 50 other ways you can work soft plastics. These are the ways that just work for me, and that's all. So I hope you guys found this video useful, helpful, and if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. Share my videos with your friends, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Nice, guys.